Hello, this is RJ Podesky, and today we are going to build a mobile app called Medical Calculator to convert patient weight, and we will be exploring icons and decision-making controls pardon me, in this project. I'm going to start by selecting and creating a new project. We are going to title this Medical Calculator, and we'll leave the default project location and click Next. Keep our phone and tablet at API 15, Android 4.0.3, ice cream sandwich. And we will select empty activity from the wizard menu here. And we'll let it be called main activity as well. I'm going to go ahead and click Finish, and let Android Studio go ahead and build all the basic project files. Okay, we're going to go ahead and delete our Hello World application, our text view control, and then under our res folder, our layout and activity main, XML file, new image asset, and we've got a list of our launcher icons here. We are going to select an image, not a clip art. So this is going to replace the application image that would show up on the home screen for your application on your mobile device. So pardon me for a second, mine is buried. We'll select IC Launcher Weight.png. Now go ahead and trim this to fit properly, and we will click on Next. And it shows us all of our different images for our different resolutions. I'm going to see if I can change the app theme. We're going to try holo.light. So I type in holo.light in our search box and select that. Then to apply it, I'm going to expand values, open up that file, and we're going to change our app theme for our style in our XML file. And we're going to say app theme equals theme.appcompat.light, and we are going to remove the dark action bar text from here. Go ahead and close that then and save the application. I'm going to make sure the action bar code is displayed properly, so we're going to open up our main activity.java. And I really like the line numbers, so we're going to go to View, Active Editor, show line numbers. Certainly got some import pieces in there. We are going to add these lines of Java to set our display show home to be enabled. We can actually see a little icon there. And we will go ahead and save that. Okay, now we're going to go into our strings.xml file, and we're going to open our translations editor, and we are going to add some strings as variables. First one being txt title, which we will call convert patient weight. And then we have several others we're going to add here as well. After I have all of those added in the translation editor, so I've added button convert, hint, a radio button for converting kilograms to pounds, and another radio button converting pounds to kilograms. I save my application, close my translations editor, and my strings.xml. Now going to add a text view control to our app. I'm going to go ahead and center that, and we will call this txt title. And we will select our txt title from our resources. We're going to change our text size to 30 independent pixels. We're now going to adjust the color, and so we're going to use hexadecimal notation here, 2 F's, 4 zeros, and we'll make that red. And then we will expand the layout margin property. And we're going to set the layout margin top to 15 independent pixels. We're going to add a text box for our weight field next. So we're going to scroll down to our text field, and we are going to drag the number text field just below our convert patient weight. And we will kind of close this back up. And we'll call this txt weight. And in the hint property from our available resources, we'll select weight of patient. We're going to set the text size property to 25. And we're going to expand the gravity property, which in order to get to that, we'll have to view all properties. And these are alphabetical order, so it's easy to get to. Go to gravity, and here we're going to select center horizontal. And then under our layout margin property, under our top property for margin top, we're going to change that to 15 dp from 16. Okay, we're done with weight of patient. We're now going to drag a radio button onto the screen. And so we're going to look under the containers category, and we're going to take the radio group, and we're going to drop that just below our text field. And so we have a radio group defined here, fewer properties. We are going to call this RADLB TOKILO. And we want this to be the default selection, so we're going to tap it as checked. So inside of our radio group, we want to drag 2 radio buttons inside of our radio group. Now, by default, these radio buttons aren't inside the radio group, and so what I had to do is in the component tree, I drug them into the radio group themselves so they would show up there. So I'm going to grab my first radio button control here, and we are going to call this RADLB2 kilo. And we are going to set this to checked by default. And then under our text, we will select LB2 kilo to match that, convert pounds to kilograms. And we'll change the text size to 20 SP. And we will go into the layout margin, and we will change the left property. We will set that to 10 dp and the top property to 15 dp. Then go in and modify our second radio button. We will call this RAD kilo to pounds. It will not be checked. We will set the size to 20 text size to 20 SP. Okay, I put that in the wrong. Field, and then we will change this to rad kilo to pounds here as well. And then we will go modify our properties at the top under layout margin, and we will set our left to 10 so that aligns properly, and we will change our top property to 5 dp to move those closer together. Now I'm going to add our action to this by dragging the button control here to the middle underneath our radio group. And once we have our button there, we're going to call it BTN convert. And for our text, we will select our BTN convert from our available resources. It says convert weight. We're going to change our button text to 25 SP, and we will tweak our gravity property just a bit as well. And we're going to center that horizontally, but not vertically. And in the top property of the layout margin, we are going to set 15 dp of space that's above the control. That'll be in the top layout margin piece. The last object to add here is one more text view control underneath convert weight. And we're going to call this txt result, which we don't necessarily have yet. We will calculate that. So we'll delete our default text here. Our text size is going to be 25 SP. I'm going to create a different color here than black, and so we're going to make that the same as we did as the title. To make it red, And so this is slightly confusing because it doesn't show anything in there right now because there is no text displayed. So we're also going to change our layout margin, and we are going to set 25 dp on the top property. So we've got 25 pixels between the button and the text there. And so now we're at a point where we probably need to save our application. Make sure we don't lose anything. Okay, we're going to go into our main activity Java and start to add some code here so we can extend our main activity class and add some variables. So we're going to add one called conversion rate. It's going to equal 2.2. The weight entered from our text box, which we're not going to instantiate yet, and then our converted weight that'll be displayed in our text box eventually. Okay, we're now going to, in our onCreate bundle method here, we will go ahead and now assign some variables to our variables we just created so that they assign with our text view controls and our radio buttons. And after I have those typed in, don't forget that we need to resolve those references by pressing Alt-Enter, and that will import the other classes that I need to reference those. Our next task will be to code the button control. For our result. Now that I have those components coded there for my button, I now need to create a listener for my on-click for my button. And so now that we have our on-click listener for our button control set up, we're going to build in a little bit of logic here after we get the value brought in from our user on the weight entered. We do need to format our text here so we use the decimal format class. And we'll need to press Alt-Enter and bring in that import statement as well. And you can see there on line 11 we've got our import java.text.decimal format to resolve our decimal format class that we brought in there. I'm now going to do some conditional logic to see if our pounds to kilo box is indeed checked. And if it is, also put an else statement after this here before we add a little bit more logic to this. So now here we've nested these. So first, if the box is checked, then we're going to check to see if the weight entered is less than 500. And if so, then we will convert the weight using some division. Weight entered divided by conversion rate. And our result dot set text for that converted weight, which will use our decimal format. And we'll concatenate some text to this as well, so it looks a little cleaner for our users. And our else condition here is going to have a toast message to create some text for our, and we're going to reference main activity, the same one that we're in. And we're going to say pounds must be less than 500. Make it a length long data type and tell it to be shown. And now we're going to code our second condition outside of our first nested if to our outer level. And so now this is going to look to see if the kilo to pounds radio button is checked, then we will check to see if the weight entered is less than or equal to 225, so it's coming from the kilo territory. And now we will convert, now converted weight will equal the weight entered times the conversion rate. And then we will set the result to set text for this main activity. this point, we're going to go ahead and save our application now that we have all of our text entered here for our code. We don't have any unresolved references with red squiggly lines, so things look good there. Things look good in our activity main.xml and our main activity.java. So we're going to go ahead and press play and run this and see what things look like when things boot up. And we'll go ahead and select the Nexus 5 as the available virtual device, and we'll let this crank away here for a couple minutes. Alright, here we go with our convert patient weight medical calculator that we've got built, and I've got my user control where I'm going to try to convert 150 pounds to kilograms. Press convert weight, and that's 68.2 kilograms. If I change this to let's say 186, and we're going to convert kilograms to pounds, that is 409 pounds. Right, and so this works with several different methods. So we test this, and if we try to test this of our 550 pounds, and try to convert weight, we will get our toast message of pounds must be less than 500. And if we try this for convert kilograms to pounds, and we use our number controls of 258, had to be greater than 225. If we do that and convert weight again, then we get kilos must be less than 225. So our toast messages work as well, and we work for all the conditions. And so we've got our medical calculator now that's used some radio buttons, some user input text, a button, and outputs this based on some conditional logic using the if statement in our Java code. So thanks again, and this finishes up this project.